Now, yesterday, there was 3 by-elections happening in Kenya. The first one was in Bonchari constituency. Bonchari actually is in Kisii County, where Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i comes from. I mentioned Matiang'i because there is a story I will tell you about. And in this election, the voters were given chance to elect in another member of parliament to replace the deceased one. The second by-election was in Juja constituency. Juja is in Kiambu County, where President Uhuru Kenyatta comes from, and Moses Kuria, the PEP party leader. They were also voting in to replace the deceased member of parliament. And the third by-election was in Ruiru ward, where also the voters were given a chance to vote in their new member of county assembly, MCA. Actually, Ruiru is still in Kiambu County. Now, before we move on in details to explain about this by-election, you might be watching me for the first time and you have not yet subscribed. Consider using this time to subscribe so that any other time, once we come out with a video like this one, you will always get notified. And to everyone who have subscribed, I must say thank you so much for your unconditional support to this channel. Actually, the more you subscribe here, the more you allow us to reach more people outside there. You also become a family. So let us build this channel together. Now, let us get back to our discussion. Now, let us start with the Bonchari constituency. The campaign were going on in Bonchari throughout, and everyone could tell what was happening on ground there. And therefore, ODM got a chance to fill a candidate in that by-election. Jubilee Party had a candidate there, and UDA Party of Dr. William Samoei Ruto also filled a candidate. So these were the front runners in this election, but there was other people who also were vying for that seat on independent tickets. But these 3 parties were the front runners. So most of us, we knew there that there is a race there between ODM, Jubilee, and the UDA party. But that was not the fact. The real fact on ground is that the race in Bonchari constituency was between Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i and the ODM leader Raila Odinga. These 2 leaders were there to put a stamp in Gusii politics. They wanted to prove who is who after what has played out. It was not a race between Jubilee candidate and UDA candidate. This race was between Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i and the UDA allies of Dr. William Samoei Ruto, akina Sylvanus Osoro. So Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i wanted to put a stamp in Gusii politics and prove the Ruto allies in Gusii land. That is the real politics that was playing in Bonchari constituency. And therefore, the results came out. This has left Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i with an egg on his face. Because the kind of intimidation that happened in that election could not allow even ODM to win. But at the end of the game, ODM candidate Pevel Oimenke got 8,049 votes. And the Jubilee candidate got 7,279 votes. The Bedeo Opore. Then it came also, so the difference between the ODM candidate and Jubilee candidate was so narrow, just 770 votes. Then also the UDA candidate was not that much far. That is Mama Teresa Oro. She got 6,964 votes. That is the really story of Bonchari by election. A lot of intimidation during counting, a lot of intimidation during voting. And therefore, there are so many issues we can discuss here. If we bring in the issue of the handshake and the by-election, handshake was made to cure the violence that normally happened during election. But what reflected in Bonchari constituency is a reverse of what we anticipate to happen in Kenya politics. It was no longer the norm that we saw what was happening in Kibra election, where ODM candidate was supported by Jubilee candidate and they campaigned in harmony. But that did not happen. Instead, actually, many people anticipated Jubilee party to desist from filling a candidate in that by-election. Instead, we expected Jubilee to be supporting the ODM candidate against the UDA candidate. But that did not happen. This morning, ODM leader also pointed out some issues and even talking about how Handshake is being threatened by the violence used by police. There are so many things here to learn. So the question here remains that, is President Uhuru Kenyatta serious with the Handshake and the ODM leader Raila Odinga? Or is the deep state just lying to Raila Odinga? Because this is not the spirit of the Handshake, what we have seen there. The intimidation that the Kisii governor went through, the Kisii senator, the ODM candidate, it was very funny. But anyway, they have become victorious. But so many times I have been talking here about the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and the ODM leader Raila Odinga. I always have a different idea. I still believe that there is no sincerity in that handshake. There is high possibility that these leaders who just wanted to manage the term of President Uhuru Kenyatta in harmony. That's why they had to call in Raila Odinga. Many people anticipated that ODM might be going into the coalition with Jubilee Party. But how can you call it a coalition when there is real violence happening on ground? There was display of power and all manner of things to prove who is who in government. And therefore, since Fred Okengo Matiang'i want to go into real politics, that's why he wanted to put a stamp in goose politics. However, his candidate has lost, but he came nearly the second. So it proves that now Matiang'i, despite losing, he still can go outside there and place a stamp in goose politics. Now, the way Jubilee candidate was, UDA candidate was also treated, it proves to a point. And even after declaring the winner, why is it that UDA people like Oscar Sudi and the team are congratulating the ODM candidate? It shows you that, like many other people have said here, if President Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to be sincere or loyal to the handshake, then there is high possibility that the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto can team up with Raila Odinga in a coalition against the candidature of President Uhuru Kenyatta. But there is one thing everyone should understand here, that the deep state might have not been keen on handshake, but they only wanted to manage the politics in Kenya during this time when President Uhuru Kenyatta was ruling, and at the same time, he did not want to work with his deputy, William Samoei Ruto. Now, let's go to Juja. Juja is proving a point to President Uhuru Kenyatta, and many people outside here are now referring to Moses Kuria as the kingpin of Mount Kenya region. So Moses Kuria is proving a point here. He has become a stamp in in Central Region politics. And therefore, after his candidate winning this election, and President Uhuru Kenyatta had his allies on ground, campaigning there, Governor Nyoro, CS Munya and the team, they were on ground campaigning. But at the end of the day, they have become the loser. So Moses Kuria is proving a point here. There is something I want to explain to you about the win that Moses Kuria is getting here and the politics that Moses Kuria is playing in Hustler Nation. But I want to do this one in the subsequent video, not in this one. On this one, I'm just dealing with the ODM issues and the Jubilee politics. So as I conclude this video, in my own view, I think that, and I'm convinced that Jubilee Party is sending ODM Party to the drawing board. There's no more roses here. And now, it is high time that ODM should check very careful and keenly. They should read Jubilee politics very, very, very careful. And for that reason, ODM should prepare. They should prepare on how they are going to go in 2022 general election. There is high chances that at the end of 2021 heading 2022, that handshake might be destroyed. It's just a matter of time. Maybe these leaders want to manage issues of maybe bringing in the position, trying to change the constitution, bring in the position of prime minister, bring in 2 deputy prime ministers. If the court will not allow them, they will do it through the National Assembly. And after that, maybe everyone will be on his own way. And I've been asking a question here every time. If President Uhuru Kenyatta was able to betray the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto after campaigning with him twice, then what is this hard thing that can stop him from betraying the ODM leader RailaOdinga, who never campaigned for him in either 2013 or 2022? So that is what I can read in this election. Bonchari by election is a lesson for both Jubilee, UDA and ODM party. Thank you for watching me. This is the end of my video. I'm coming up with the next video about Moses Kuria, so don't miss it. May good God bless you.